Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is, I'm glad you're here. I've been having a problem trying to get this one to work out, so I've decided that I'll just go with it. I've got this thing and I want to show you it, and it's really quite interesting, but some people are going to say, because I've been doing it for a while, some people are going to say, oh, that's rubbish. Some people are going to say, don't believe it. Some people are going to say, oh, that's amazing. And, well, see what you think. Magic. I'm going to play you something now that you won't be able to hear. Or if you can hear it, you'll be one of the few. But anyway, I'm going to play this and see if you can hear it. No? Well, let me turn that one off. I'll turn this one on. I'll play this one, see if you can hear it. No? Okay, well, let me turn them both on then. And see if you can hear this. Wow. Did you hear that? So what how did that happen? I'm not sure. Right, so now I've got a different one. So let's see what happens if I try this one. Let's mute that because I don't want to play that. So let's play the top one. It's done it again. Did anybody hear that? Let's try the next one down. It's definitely playing because it's got the display up at the top. So, okay, well, let's try the two together again. Oh, it's different, but it's there. There's definitely a sound. So what's occurring there then? I've got a different one now. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if anybody can hear this one. Oh, I could almost hear it. Let's see what this one sounds like. No. I could hear that there was something to hear, but I couldn't hear what it was. As in, it made a tick for me. But let's see what happens if we put them together again. It's making a noise again. So how does that work? I must say this is really rather confusing. Okay, I've got another one here to try. Let's start with the top one. Same again. Couldn't hear it. Next one down. Same again. Couldn't hear it. Put the two together and it's that noise again. But what the hell is it? This makes no sense to me. Just for the sake of completeness, let's see what happens with this one. I mean, it looks the same here, doesn't it? So let's see what this one does. This one, we'll play the top one. Oh, I heard that. Let's mute that, and then we play the next one down. And, oh, I heard that one as well. Okay, so let's see what happens if we play them together. Wow, there is a noise. But what is that noise? It's rather confusing, I think. So anyway, let's I've got one more to play. Okay, now I've got this one up. Now it looks a bit different to the others, but I'll tell you why it looks different. I've just made it bigger. And the reason being, I don't want you to see what's on the bottom. But that's because it would give the game away. Well, give a game away. I don't know if it gives the game away. So let's show you what this one does and listen to see what this one does. So we turn that one off. We've got that one is on, and you see the funny patterns there. It is a sine wave. It's just that's the sampling rate that does that funny pattern. It is a pure sine wave. And I'm going to go and play it. What does this sound like? Oh, that was nice and toneful. So let's see what the one underneath it sounds like. Sounds the same. Or does it? How keen are your ears? Anyway, let's play the two together and see what that gives us. Oh, did you hear that? Let's try that again. That's rather strange, isn't it? Now what I'll do is I'll bring up that, and I'll bring up that, and you can see the third one. That is actually what happens when you mix the two together. So if I just turn those two off and play this one, you can see that that looks like what it sounded like. So let's have a listen. Now you're going to say, well, you've obviously arranged that, because that's the sort of thing that, you know, people say when they find something that's strange. They think, well, you know, you've fiddled that. I'll just show you something. If I delete that, so gone, there you go. That has now gone. And what I'll do now is I will actually make that track. So what we do here is we go on to this track here and we select it and we select that one at the same time and drag it across so that it covers that. Right, okay, so that's those two tracks are selected. And if I go on to tracks, add a new track, not add a new track, one, mix and render to new track. So I'm going to mix those two signals together and put it onto a third track. And here we go. And there it is. And you got to say, oh, yeah, that's quite impressive, I think. Let's just play that one. And we'll play. It is definitely what it sounds like. Let's just, for the sake of interest, let's just zoom in and see what it actually looks like. Now you can see, you got here, you've got a sine wave. Here you've got a sine wave that's ever so slightly different. I can tell you it's 4,400 hertz and 4,000, 44.1 and 44.10. So there's a very small difference between them. So when we look at this together, it adds and subtracts. So here it's adding, so here the signals are adding together and you produce this clip. And then down here, they're actually out of phase with each other. See, that one's going positive and that one isn't. So that one's been positive and is coming negative. That one's going positive. So the two add up together and produce a smaller thing. So you end up with this rather nice looking sine wave that's dropping down. And then, when it's finished doing that, it gets to 0, look. And then it goes back up again. Now, the reason I'm showing you that is because, you know those other ones I showed you? They were doing the same thing, but at different frequencies. So let me just show you, just out of interest. Boom, let's get rid of that one. Save project before closing. No, because it's already been saved. Just bring up one of those other ones. This one. This one, now it says on there, if you can read it, it says harmonic 16 and 17K. So if I play this, you get this, which is a interesting sort of sound. And if I unmute the bottom and we zoom in, you can see within the actual thing, there is the top trace, there is the bottom trace, so to speak, or as in the second trace, and then you've got this. And can you see it's the same effect? If we were to play that in speed and wiping that across, it'd be go wah 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 wah. And it's the same thing. And that's what happens when you mix two sounds together. And that's why you got the magic of playing the top one and the bottom one. Play the top one and you get that. Nothing. Play the bottom one or the middle one and you get that. And you get nothing. Switch them both on. Remember, I haven't switched on the bottom one. That one's still muted. And you get this sound. And that sound is what that looks like. And just to prove it, I will turn off those two. Play the bottom one. You've seen how these are generated. And I'm not going to bother showing you again. Boy, you're silly. But here we go. We'll just play literally the bottom track, which is the two mixed together as one track. Sounds exactly the same. And that is that. Impressive, eh?